Before we start, I need to ask a very serious question. Why did the chicken cross the road? No, don't answer yet. This question holds a lot more importance than you may think. Because right now, half of you are confident you know the answer. The other half worried how to make their answer sound more seasoned. Someone in the back is probably thinking, is this a trick question? And one person is wondering whether or not they'll be judged for even putting an answer out there. You see, this is the issue with this simple joke. It's not about the chicken, it's about the pressure. The pressure of being the first one to step up to use their voice. The pressure of being funny, or the pressure of realizing you may just not be funny. Sorry. Because when you say to get to the other side, you're boring everyone. When you choose to say something clever, now you have set expectations. How's the class clown? Ooh, scary. So the chicken didn't just cross the road. It took a risk. And statistically speaking right now, the chicken is making a lot more progress than most of us. Today, I'm going to attempt something bold, convincing you that anyone in this room can use humor to maintain a positive perspective when life seems daunting or stressful. And it all comes down to 3 simple things: awareness, perspective, and transferability. Because if there's one thing a comedian loves more than laughter, it's the power of 3. Humor is the skill of noticing our surroundings, adjusting our lens, and responding with courage. And when you do, you have the ability to turn any awkward silence into a shared laughter. The first step to humor is noticing. And no, I'm not talking about noticing that one teacher who somehow debuts a new bougie outfit every Monday when I've worn the same hoodie since Wednesday. I'm talking about noticing the small absurdities everyone tends to ignore and overlook. Like the moment a teacher announces a homework assignment, and suddenly every single iPad in the room mysteriously dies at exactly the same time. Like they planned on it. Like there's a separate group chat we don't know about. Why am I not in that? Or at lunch, when an unfamiliar face waves, you wave back, only to realize they were waving at the person behind you the entire time. Awkward. Now, I want you to raise your hand if something embarrassing like this has happened to you before. And keep your hand raised if after that moment you decided to completely ignore it and carry on with your life. Well, I have good news, because these small, awkward, embarrassing moments are what I like to call comedy gold. Things to be embraced, not erased. And before anyone even attempts to make fun of that silly phrase, turns out noticing the unexpected is actually the whole skill. So all those times you've been quietly watching your friends mess up the same TikTok dance 41 times, or whenever you dramatically overreact to a homework assignment, that's you being totally weird, that's you being funny. Now, I want you to imagine this: a shiny white Mazda, freshly washed, not a scratch in sight. In the driver's seat sits your 15-year-old sister, your dad by your side, coaching her how to drive your older brother's car for the very first time. Now, all she has to do is idle forward to park behind her other brother's car. Thank God he was away at college. How hard can it possibly be? Well, clearly a little too hard for Leyla. Because in an attempt to lightly press on the brakes, she slams on the gas pedal, 30 miles per hour with no sign of any stop. Well, that girl is me, and despite nearly killing my father, my brother, and totaling half of my family's driving fleet in under 30 seconds, my dad responded, not with anger, but with humor. In what could have been a very traumatic experience for me, possibly resulting in permanently banning myself from ever driving again, became a learning moment, diffused by my father's funny question. After lunging over to slam the car into park, he simply asked me, "How do you even manage to do that, Evel Knievel?" Like, who even is that? Well, while I may not know the difference between the gas and brake pedal, even though the state of California technically gave me my permit, my dad's nervous laughter taught me more about perspective than any lesson in school ever could. He taught me that a positive perspective is what truly makes the best and funniest people. And in a situation where my life flashed before my eyes, my dad's witty response turned my hysterical crying into hysterical laughter. Learning to see scenarios from the right perspective can turn life-altering mistakes into lessons, panic into punchlines, or at least make you laugh while nearly destroying your family's only source of transportation. Sorry, Dad. So here's what I figured out. Humor isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you can give to someone else. When my dad made that joke in the car after my tragic accident, he wasn't performing for me. He was simply handing me away out of the panic I was already in. He gave me permission to stop hysterically crying for 10 seconds, and although extremely difficult, I took it. That is exactly what humor is when it actually matters. Not a punchline, a choice you make for someone else. With that being said, I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you. Tell them your favorite joke, the weirder the better. Ready? Go. I gave you 10 seconds to tell a terrible joke, and you decided that was enough to make the person sitting next to you laugh. Well, hopefully they laughed, or else that would have been pretty embarrassing. That joke wasn't just a punchline. That was a choice, and that's the whole talk. So the next time something goes wrong, and trust me, something definitely will go wrong, I would know, you have a choice. You can pretend like nothing happened and find your phone very suddenly fascinating, or you can point at it, find what's funny, and hand that to the person next to you. So why did the chicken cross the road? Maybe because he thought the other side was scary. But like Evel Knievel, he decided to cross anyway. So when life puts you at the edge of that road, be the chicken. Find what's funny and hand that to the person next to you. Because humor isn't just about how you end up crossing the road. It's about how you make it easier for the people around you crossing with you. That's not a punchline. That's a pretty awesome life skill. Thank you.